History is like the ocean, vast, mysterious, and full of treasures waiting to be discovered. Some stories are buried deep beneath the waves, forgotten by time. But once uncovered, they change everything we thought we knew about the past. Hi guys! Before we begin our story, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Here on Whisper of the Past, we bring you amazing stories, mysteries, and hidden chapters of history every day, so you'll always have something new to discover. If you're ready, let's dive in and start today's journey. In 1976, on the banks of the Masao River in Butuan City, something remarkable was found. A team of archaeologists digging into the muddy soil uncovered what looked like fragments of ancient wooden planks. But these weren't ordinary pieces of timber. They were curved, carefully shaped, and joined together with astonishing skill. What they had uncovered was nothing less than a Balangay boat, a vessel over 1,000 years old, lying in silence for centuries beneath the ground. At first, many dismissed it. Could this really be evidence that the Philippines once had advanced maritime technology, rivaling even the great naval powers of Asia? The answer was yes, and the full story of the Balangay would rewrite our understanding of the region's history. The word Balangay comes from an ancient Filipino term meaning to sail together in community. These boats were not just vessels, they were the backbone of pre-colonial Philippine civilization. Imagine this, long before Spain arrived, long before Manila became a trading hub, the people of Butuan were already building ships big enough to carry families, warriors, and merchants across the seas. These weren't rafts or canoes. They were full-fledged wooden ships built using a technique called lashed lug construction, where planks were joined edge to edge with wooden dowels and ropes instead of nails. What's even more astonishing is their size. Some balangays measured up to 25 meters long and could carry 60 to 80 people. To put that in perspective, that's larger than the Viking longships that terrorized Europe around the same time. But unlike Viking raids, the balangays were not just for war. They were tools of exploration, migration, and most importantly, trade. Archaeological finds in Butuan reveal that it was no ordinary settlement. By the 10th century, Butuan was a bustling trade hub, connecting the Philippines to the vast networks of Asia. Gold ornaments, Chinese porcelain, Middle Eastern glass beads, and Hindu-Buddhist relics were all found in the region. Imagine the scene: ships from Butuan sailing to Champa, modern-day Vietnam, to the coasts of China, and even further. Merchants from across Asia would dock at Butuan's ports, exchanging silk, spices, and ceramics for gold and forest products from Mindanao. In fact, historical records from China confirm this. In 1001 AD, Butuan sent an official tribute mission to the Song dynasty. The Chinese were astonished. A kingdom from the far-off islands had arrived at their imperial court, offering gifts of gold and spices. And not just once, Butuan would send multiple missions over the following decades, proof of its diplomatic and naval strength. Now, here's the real mystery. How did the people of Butuan build such advanced ships centuries ago? Unlike European shipbuilders who relied on iron nails, the builders of the Balangay mastered a technique unique to Southeast Asia. They carved planks with exact precision, drilled holes along the edges, and fastened them with wooden dowels. The seams were lashed tightly with fiber ropes made from plants like rattan. This gave the Balangay remarkable flexibility. When waves struck instead of breaking, the ship flexed with the ocean, a perfect design for surviving the rough seas of the Pacific. Archaeologists estimate that the oldest Balangay dates back to around 320 AD, meaning Filipinos had been sailing long before many other cultures had even begun maritime exploration. This pushes back the timeline of Philippine history by centuries, showing us a civilization that was skilled, adaptive, and globally connected. But the Balangay was more than just wood and rope. It carried deep cultural meaning. Communities that traveled together on a Balangay weren't just passengers. They were bound as one, almost like a family. In fact, the modern Filipino word barangay, the basic political unit of the Philippines today, comes from this very tradition. A barangay was originally a community formed by people who voyaged together on a single boat. Imagine that, the foundations of Philippine society born from the barangay. Even today in Butuan, the barangay is remembered as a symbol of unity, resilience, and the adventurous spirit of the ancestors. Since the 1970s, at least 9 barangay boats have been discovered in Butuan. Some are preserved in museums, while others remain buried, waiting for future excavation. In 2010, the Philippines built replica balangays using the same ancient methods. Crews of modern adventurers sailed these vessels across Southeast Asia to Brunei, Singapore, and back, proving that the design was seaworthy even today. Their journey wasn't just an experiment, it was a statement. The barangay is not a relic of the past, but a living reminder of Filipino identity. But here's the lingering question. How much of the story of Butuan and the barangay have we truly uncovered? We know the boats exist. We know Butuan was a trade hub. But what else lies hidden in the soil of Mindanao? Could there be more ships waiting to be unearthed? Could there be records, artifacts, or stories lost to time, waiting to reveal just how vast Butuan's influence once was? And perhaps the bigger mystery, why is this story almost forgotten in mainstream history books? Why do we learn more about the Spanish conquest than the seafaring kingdoms that thrived long before colonization? Perhaps the real voyage is not across the seas, but through time, reclaiming the stories of the ancestors that built these magnificent vessels. The barangay is more than an artifact. It is proof that the Philippines was never a passive backwater, but an active player in the history of Asia. A people of sailors, merchants, and dreamers who dared to cross oceans. What other mysteries lie hidden in the islands? And what can they teach us about who we are today? If you enjoyed today's journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Comment below. What other mysteries of the Philippines or Asia should we explore next? Your idea might be featured in the next video. This has been Whisper of the Past, where forgotten stories come alive. Until next time, keep searching, because history still has secrets left to tell.